I always like to start with an interesting story, a relationship story.
Okay.
This is one of those Reddit things.
Love the Reddit.
And as soon as I see the headline, people divided over, I'm like, I'm in.
It's Reddit. There's nobody not divided over.
Yeah, there's no perfect way to propose. Everyone does it their own way.
Yes.
The ideal engagement varies wildly depending on the concerns and who you're actually wanting to get married to. Everyone wants to have something unique. And people do it at stadiums, or they give a flower to every person off the airplane, and she's got 55 flowers, this, that, and the other. So at the end of the day, if the couple involved in the proposal are happy, it doesn't really matter what's important to anyone else. But in this man's attempt to pop the question raised some eyebrows online, with people divided over his low-key attempt. Now,
what? Just like nonchalant.
Yeah, real nonchalant. And
well, yeah.
Again, if you've been with somebody for 8 or 9 years,
you better
your life
make
partners.
It special.
No. That's the difference. So if it's 8 or 9 years, you're kind of like you just want to do this, just get married.
That's a kiss of death.
Yeah.
Kiss of death.
But happily, the woman he proposed to was over the moon as she shared the note he left her. He proposed with a note.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. Hey.
It was on Mother's Day back in May.
Okay.
And he wrote it and left it to her with the ring on the kitchen table as he left for work.
Okay.
The note reads, Happy Mother's Day, me and Monk, who is his daughter. I love you so much. Thank you for being such a good mother to her.
Okay.
I was going to wait until I got home to do this, but I wanted to make you happy as soon as you got out of bed this morning. I hope you like it. It's probably too big. And there was a ring, and it's huge. Because you told me the wrong size. LOL. Oh, well, I love you. P.S. Want to get married sometime. She absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you think? And people are like, oh, my gosh. First of all, he wasn't there. He didn't get it on the knee. He didn't put the ring on the finger. Want to get married sometime? What is that?
I was there. I was feeling a lump in my throat
Yeah.
until the last. This is what people always blow, until the last line.
Yeah.
The last line was, you blew it, dude. You were so close.
She loved it.
No, I don't care, but you blew it. You were lucky she loved it.
Yep.
So then the other thing is,
but you don't throw that out there unless you know she's going to love it. You don't walk up to a woman who's...
I loved all of it. I mean, maybe that's, yeah, okay, I get it. That's their way. Maybe they're a little snarky with each other. And
yeah.
But that's a risky move. The last line, just literally the last line. I was with you. The whole thing, I was like, hey, unconventional, romantic, good. And then do you want to get married sometime? It just, that's got to be a thing between them.
You always say read the room, right? You have to know your mate. I will tell you this. If you ask somebody to marry them and they say no, you didn't do your homework.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't ask that question.
No, you ask it
unless
15
you
times.
know that they're going to say yes. You just don't do it.
Even ask
for you schmucks who do it on the big screen at Dallas Cowboy Stadium, whatever, and they turn you down, that's on you.
Yeah.
Because she'll tell you a million times, I don't want to make a big deal out of it or whatever. I want it to be kind of private, or some people like to do it in an entire room. Yep. There was some video. There was some dude that was in Manhattan last week that tried to propose to his girlfriend like 75 times. He kept getting on one knee and she'd run away. And he was like, looking behind, she's like, what are you doing? He's like, he'd get on his knee and she'd go, stop. And she'd walk away. And then they were at Nathan's Hot Dogs and he started getting down the knee back to the table and a buddy is with it. And she's like, stop it. And she got up and ran away. And he did it like 75. It was hilarious.
Did you finally say yes?
Finally, she's like, God, let's just go into a Subway somewhere and let's do this privately. And she said yes. She knew she was going to marry him.
Look, that's the thing. We've talked about this. This has to do with sex.
Yep.
This has to do with sex. This is you're doing great. Just keep it that way. I like that. It feels so good, right? And then it's the guy trying to like one up it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. Well, it's the same thing, like the Dallas Cowboy thing, or the whatever. The big. You better know your mate, but more importantly, I mean, you want to get in the head. I want to get in the head of the guy. Are you doing this to? Well, it's always. Are you doing this to win her over? Are you doing this to feed your ego, or are you doing this because you truly believe that she will love this? Now, if it's the last one, if she's the kind of person that she'll just be, then great. But you watch the reaction sometimes, and obviously they're surprised and whatever. But like, that's the kind of thing. Read the room. Read the room. She tells the whole wedding ring thing. I don't know what you did. I sure as hell didn't go pick out a wedding ring by myself and go get it for her.
I did.
Well, that's great. But I'm a more risk averse. So I was like, because we were talking, we were going to get married.
Did you know you were going to do it when you did it? I mean, did you know that day?
I did. But when we had the wedding ring, we spent probably 4 months, 4 months before we're going to get married at some point. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to know if I ever should have proposed to you. And I was purposely months before.
Yeah.
And we picked out wedding rings, and she said,
okay, you did it together. Okay.
Yeah, we picked out wedding. This is the kind of thing.
That's real romantic.
No, dude, get her what she wants.
Well, she's going to kind of let you know, but she doesn't go out and picks the ring out with you.
No, pick it out. No. It was more of, let's go shopping. Let's not get it. I want to know, should I ever propose? What kind of rings are you into? Because
if I ever proposed to you, what would you like?
Yes, because my wife doesn't wear a lot of jewelry. Yeah. So I got, okay. So we did that, and then I just waited. Waited, and it was long enough. It was a few months, and waited, and then I proposed.
Did she bring it up?
What?
How long did you wait between looking for rings and then actually doing the proposal?
Probably 3 months.
Okay, that's not waiting. That's 3 months. That's nothing.
That's not a year.
Well, if it was a year, she's like, what the hell we go looking rings for?
We already had the house.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing there.
Yeah.
We
were cohabitating too. So we knew it was going to happen. It was like, and I needed to be prodded a little bit. But I was like, I'm doing it my way. Because if I remember correctly, she actually proposed to me first. And I was like, no, I would like to do that. I would like to do
Did you
the proposal.
say no?
I would have said, I did. Well, I said, I do want to marry you, but I would like to do the proposing. I would like to be the one
to do the proposing.
To commence this next thing.
You think that was a red flag?
But it was never a push. It was never like, when are you going to do it, or what are we waiting for, or anything like that.
My big thing is, don't go over the top. Don't go over the top to go over the top. Again, whose ego are you feeding? That's all. Just whose ego are you feeding? And I think guys, to be honest with you, as much as women, it's all about, we talk about women, it's about the wedding day and the wedding. I do think for the one proposing, whether it's a guy or a gal, and I always say gay or straight, whoever's doing the proposing, that's your moment.
Yeah.
Like that's your, the wedding may be for them, but the proposal is, and I remember thinking this way, this is my time to be creative, right? And then, because after that, I knew that it was all, it wasn't, but you got to take the other one in consideration. The other thing is, well, here, like, why do you go to Reddit? Like, well, I don't understand why people go to Reddit.
Well, I mean, Reddit's not just a post to find out what people want. It's also a social media post.
No, I understand that. Well, why?
So she's like, look at she wasn't asking people what they thought.
Oh, okay.
She's like, this is what happened. And then, of course, people are going to comment on it. And they're going to hammer on it. So, yeah, there's different ways. Well, some people thought he was a schmuck, but you don't know these two. But she said, I loved it. She's like, it was great. She's like, I'm not putting this out there because I'm insecure about the way he did it. She goes, I thought it was
ring?
Huh? Huge ring.
Let me see.
That probably helped.
Picture? Because if it was a big ring, then it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's a monster.
Although big rings are big rings, you can't see. Okay, that's fine. Never mind.
No,
there it is. Okay, 10 karat.
No,
4 carat?
not a 10 carat, but it's
like it's good. Okay,
it
lots of pictures.
It's pretty big on our little stubby little fingers.
Yeah, that's big.
It's big. It's a pear shape.
Gotta be careful. Someone could steal it. Just leave it out on the counter. Do they have dogs? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they did that?
What are you talking
Can you imagine
about?
You set that whole thing up?
Well, no, you sit there and say, "Did you get the diamond?" She's like, "No,"
what?
and you don't give it to her.
You what?
You could always sit there. Did you get the ring? What ring? Oh no.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
I mean this one. Oh,
no, that's
see, now that would have been. See, now if he wrote that,
yes,
and then she's like, "What the hell? Where's the ring?"
Well, then she scrambled,
and then she's getting home. He's getting home from work, and he's like, "How'd you like the ring?" And she's like, "What ring?" It's like, the ring I left with the note. You don't think I'd sit there and say that without leaving the ring, right?
Well,
and she's like,
good.
No. And he's like,
what
happened? And he starts scrambling around, and all of a sudden he gets down on one knee and he goes, this ring here. See, now that would have been a home run.
You need to write that down, just
I may do that with
that
I may do that with my next
I feel like we should have a Chris Doris commercial right about now.
Do it. Chris Doris,
because
no, it's one of those things.
I know. That's what I was saying.
I got tied into that 3 months salary for the ring thing, which is a diamond thing, by the way. Those are the Zales and all the Diamonds Direct. They sit there and say you have to spend. You should spend 3 months salary on an engagement ring.
I spent more than that.
That's what the diamond industry tells us. We believe it, and I'm thinking to myself, and I spent in 3 months is a lot of money.
Yeah, actually.
A lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's more
now, if
like
you're making
2
$27 grand a year,
Yeah, right.
and it's hard to spend that much because it's 3 months' salary, for God's sakes. We're going month to month. We're all just a week away from
Yeah, but
being
if you're
homeless.
6 figures, man, that's a lot.
It's a ton of money. And so Chris Dorsey's State Farm team was the first person I called when I got this bad boy because I'm like, if this thing gets lost, I ain't going to be able to replace it. And so I got an insurance policy, a personal insurance policy out of it to know that because I ended up losing my engagement ring down at the beach, and mine wasn't nearly as expensive.
Not worth anything. You're just not.
You meld it down. It's worth something.
Not much. Did you have diamonds in yours?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. It's like mine. It's not
yes,
mine.
my ex got me diamonds in my ring,
Okay.
and I absolutely loved
Mine's
it. And I
probably worth
wore it
$150.
till the judge said we weren't married anymore. People were like, "Why are you still wearing that?" I was like, "Because
good.
first of all, I'm not available.
Yes.
I'm still married legally, and it just I felt really comfortable on my finger.
Mine's worth $150 probably. Seriously.
Yeah, men's rings aren't nearly as much. No. And then you get into the whole if you give like your old grandmother's ring.
Well, we did that. I did that.
Well, then that is one of those situations where because according to the law, when you give her the ring, it's hers.
Yeah.
Now, some women go, "You're not getting it back." And you're like, "Listen, that's my grandma's ring. It's been in our family for years." That's one of those things where let's talk about that because
that's a thing. That's a
9 out of 10 times.
Now you're talking grandma's ring. Okay, so there's two kinds, right? There's two kinds.
An heirloom, something that's 200 years old.
There's two kinds of rings, right? There's so like my wife has the ring set thing that I bought her.
Yeah.
She's got the diamond, and then she has a band that was my grandmother's.
Yeah.
It's probably not worth.
If you got divorced, would she give it back?
Yes, but I was going to say financially, though, money wise, it's not worth that much.
Yes,
but yes,
in your case, it's perfect because there's no monetary value. You guys are pretty set off, and so she wouldn't need it. But if it was something that's a big honking ring, it's worth about 20 grand, and then you get divorced, depending on whether it's amicable or not. Well, 9 out of 10 times, they're usually giving it back. They're usually like, "I know this is part of your family heirloom, and I know that." So you need to explain that when you do it.
But you can't ask for it back.
No, and that's something you probably need to broach when you propose to her.
Oh, well, not the same day. Like I feel like that's a bust.
You have to go. Listen, I want to give you this ring. I want to marry you. Thank you for saying yes.
I love you.
This has been in our family for 150 years. This is my great grandmother's ring. And then go through the whole. He came back from war and gave it to her, and blah blah blah, in hopes that she realizes just how important it is to your family. So if things don't work out 18 years later, she'll go, "Listen, I need to get this back." But in most cases, it ain't happening.
No, you can't ask for it back. Cannot ask for it.
But you hope that they give it back.
You hope they give it back in that.
And then you can give it to their daughter. Well, unless she says, "Well, how about I give it to her daughter so she can give it to her, or I give it to her son so he can give it to their." Yeah.
Right, because I don't want to give it to your ass. I'm not going to give it back to your ass.
Unless you're down at Pee Wee's Golden Pawn Shop down there on Highway 31, you see it in the window. Just saying.